Part 14, Liberation. Woe to me, this self, void of consciousness and that which it makes conscious, void of subject and object, of all names whatever, self-illumined for once and forever. Hail again to me all rest and peace, the high mountain of supreme bliss, smiling under the sky cleared of all clouds of egoism, fresh after complete extinction of a wild, devastating conflagration of desire. To the lamp of love burning bright with its wick of spontaneous ideas without any material oil, to the light of inner consciousness, the self-sustained sustainer of the intellect and all that depends on it, right hearty welcome, right joyous greeting. Yoga Vasishta. Subject, object, instrument, time, space, categories, being, non-being, phenomena, all are forms of that which is the bliss self. Yoga Vasishta. Lightness, health, peace, beauty and grace, melodious voice, profuse fragrance, these signify the first fruits of yoga. The resplendent ball of gold encrusted with dust, shines in native luster, when carefully washed, the self having regained itself shines alone in the eternal bliss of supreme fulfillment. Asvatavadara Upanishad. As the sword flashes out of its sheath before the eye in dream, transcending the scheme of all causation, so is the knower all self-effulgent, transcending the five sheaths and standing above all causations. Upadasahasri. Thou mayest realize the distinction between this world and spirit, to be as like unto the distinction between void and ether. Yoga Vasishta. Those are the enlightened great souls of this world who happen to be firmly fixed in eternal unborn calmness. The world cannot even dream of it. Gaudapadakriya. Sight of the Supreme breaks asunder the knot of egoism in the heart, dispels all doubts, extinguishes all karma. Mundaka. The blindest sensualist finds in his mother the irremovable bar to the excess of his indulgence. The man of the sharpest intellect is overcome by the ultimate resort of all thought and all bliss, the One. Vivekaknidamani. Therefore, the knower of the One finishing all learning, should wish to be strong in the self, and finishing even this strength as well as that learning, he should try to become the Silent One. Finishing learning, and strength, and silence, he becomes the true Brahman, the real knower of Brahman. What, indeed, makes the Brahman? Whatever may make the Brahman, he cannot be other than the One thus described. All beside is vain and worthless. Upanishad. Powder of the Kataka wood put into water settles down the mud that makes it foul. So spirituality constantly put in, drives down the ignorance which renders the soul all turbid, leaving it in the native purity of itself. Atmabhata. Nothing moves him to love or hate, who finds all beings in himself and himself in all beings. What can delusion or sorrow mean then? When to the knower realizing unity of the all, every particle has become his self. Upanishad. Spiritual consciousness having shown the absolute non-existence of the objective, the supreme peace of liberation is fully realized in the mind's being wiped clean of all and every object whatever. Panchadasi. Experience in the light of wisdom, dissolving every impression it may leave behind. This sleep in waking, is the real nature of those who know liberation is only the highest development of this nature. Yoga Vasishta. Said Yajnavalkya, this is not the self, this is not the self. The incomprehensible is never comprehended, the indissoluble is never dissolved, the unconditioned is never conditioned, the unpained is never pained, never put out. Thou Janaka hast realized entire fearlessness. Upanishad. The bliss of Brahman. Speech and mind fall back baffled and abashed, all fear vanishes in the knowing of that bliss. Upanishad. The Silent One, the knower ever resting in the self, may walk, stand, sit, lie down, or do anything at his sweet will. Vivekaknidamani. I do not see, for, I have no eyes without ears, how can I hear? I cannot speak, for, I have no speech without mind, how could I find the world of mind? Upadasahasri. There is none superior to me in self-knowledge, none inferior to me in ignorance. Who knows thus, is the greatest knower of Brahman. Nishkarmacity. Neither knowable nor unknowable, neither spoken nor unspoken, neither liked nor disliked, impossible of retaining in any mental presentation, nay, not possible to fix in contemplation even for a moment. All bliss through and through, beautiful in the deep sense of ecstatic self-realization. This myself wonderfully dissolves the world in the sudden flash of its abundant light. Svarajyasati. Separate, unique, one, multifarious, knowable, knower, motive, mover, these and other imaginings of the same kind, where could they find room other than in me, all one? Upadasahasri. Egoism having disengaged itself from the body, and having been dissolved in the light of Supreme Self, the mind stands in a blissful state wherever it goes, whatever it directs itself to. Dragdrasyavivka, the native form of the subject, highly transcendent, self-illumined for once and forever, unborn, one, immutable, unconditioned, all-pervading, without a second I am this, the ever-liberated word of glory. Upanishads. He has had a dip in the holy waters of all sacred rivers. He has given the whole earth impious gift. He has offered 1,000 sacrifices. He has satisfied all the gods in heaven. He has lifted his ancestors out of the circle of birth and death. He deserves worship of all the three worlds. The man whose mind has, even for a moment, tasted of peace in the absorbing idea of Brahman. Miscellaneous. Neither love nor hate, neither ambition nor illusion, neither pride nor the least tinge of jealousy, no good, spiritual or temporal, no desire, no liberation. I am none of these, I am all bliss, the bliss of all eternal consciousness. Holiness or unholiness, happiness or misery, incantation or holy pilgrimage, scripture or sacrifice, none of these belong to me, not even the enjoyed, the enjoyer, or the sense of enjoyment. I am all bliss, the bliss of all eternal consciousness. Death I fear not, caste I respect not, father, mother, nay even birth, I know not, relatives, friends I recognize not, teacher and pupil I own not. I am all bliss, the bliss of all eternal consciousness. Asankarakriya. I am Braham, not at all of the world, never apart from Braham. I am not the body, nor have I any body whatever. I am the unconditioned, eternal one. Asankarakriya. Who, being full of unity, sees not, as in sleep, the least trace of duality, though seeing it in entire wakefulness. Who though acting is, for the same reason, entirely at rest, he and no one else is verily the true knower of self. Upanishads. He is all taste and refinement, yet all insipid. He is merciless, yet fondness itself. He is cruel, yet all compassion. He is beyond desire, yet deep in the whirl of all desire. All care and anxiety without, like the rest of mankind, yet all quiet and calm within. He stands as if possessed, though ever unpossessed. Yoga Vasishta. Regaling all content in the nectar of bliss, fully satisfied in supreme fulfillment of every duty. There remains nothing for the yogi to do. If anything remain, he must be just so many removes behind bliss. Jivanmukti Viveka. The least of a thing is greatest if it comes without trouble to anyone, without seeking it of the wicked, and without the least pang at heart. Mahabharata. The cycle of strife and struggle will place Braham in the mouth of all. None, O Maitreya, will know it, if intent on the pleasures of sex and stomach. Jivanmukti Viveka. I am Braham, I am the Creator. Those who do not thus know me, are lost to wisdom as also to the purifying forms of external worship. They are on the highway to materialistic atheism. Upanishads. O Gargi, who performs the sacrifice, who undergoes the severest penance even for several thousands of years, all without knowledge of this immutable essence, meets only with that good which is sure to end. Who passes away, dear Gargi, from this world, without knowledge of this immutable essence, goes away, alas, with the tight bond of narrowness about his heart. He alone who passes away in the knowledge of this immutable essence is the real Braham. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The heart of the wicked never melts into goodness, even though he should be deep immersed in the Vedanta. Jagannath. Always at their best while talking of Braham, but without the heart having at all become it, being all colored with love of the world. These two are ignorant fools of the first degree, never free from the circle of death and birth. Aparakshanabhuti. Who does not know, knows who knows, does not know. It is known to those who do not know, it is not known to those who know. Upanishad. The ladle helps to prepare a variety of viands, but it never knows the taste of any one of them. He knows all the four Vedas, and institutes of duty without end, but the poor thing knows not the essence of them all. Braham. Attarajita. Attachment to any one of the many fields which the mind visits for exercise, is the surest sign of ignorance. Greenness is certainly impossible in the tree that conceals a consuming fire in its hollow. Naishkarmasati. The swimmer, having safely carried many to the other side of the stream, is drawn into the whirlpool, and is carried beyond all help. Those, on the other side, who feel grateful for his help, pity him, others pass on in indifference. The wise man caught into the whirlpool of words and technicalities, has the pity of those who, having reached the other side of all words and all forms, feel yet grateful for his help. Atmapurana. that knower of self who yet deals in give and get returns hath not graduated himself for liberation. Upanishads. The wise grieve not, having seen the unbodied self pervading all mortal forms, ever great, all-embracing. Upanishad. As is the being of things the voidness of void, or the being with forms of forms, so is this universe. That whereof comes the whole universe at the end of sleep, and that wherein it dissolves itself at the moment of rest, is this Chidakasa. Yoga Vasishta. The area of this cosmos can hardly suffice for the enjoyment of the high-minded knower. The flutter of a tiny fish can produce but a scant ruffle on the surface of the deep. Bhartrhari. Though taking part 1. All affairs of every kind, like all ordinary men, he soars constantly above all beings, conscious or unconscious. Yoga Vasishta. If one knows his self as the self, what desire, what object, should burn his body in the fever of care and anxiety? Upanishad. Think of it, speak of it, enlighten one another in it. This is full devotion to the idea of oneness. This, the wise call study of Brahman. Panchadasi. The irrevocable love which the indiscriminate have in objects of sense, may that very love never fade from my heart while it yet continues to be full of thy holy memory. Panchadasi. Great souls, ever at rest in the self, all light and standing at the height of development, are always as firm within as Mount Meru, though appearing as fickle without as the tip of a feather. Yoga Vasishta. Neither joy nor sorrow, neither movable nor immovably fixed, neither being nor non-being, nay, not even the intermediate between these opposites, so as describe the mind of the enlightened. Yoga Vasishta. The army engaged in close battle, in a picture, fights all unmoved. The wise, though deep in intercourse with the world, stands equally even in all conditions. Yoga Vasishta. The Vedas. The constant study of the scriptures, close application to the subtleties of philosophy. What do these avail? What, indeed, is the use of that whirl of ceremonial worship, which at best lodges the weary soul in some hovel of the village called heaven? Conscious harmony in the blissful condition of self, the great pralaya fire destroying the net of misery born of the bondage of this world. All, saving this, are but the toys of spiritual pedantry. Bhartrhari. The soul imagining itself into the act, takes on the result of that act. Not imagining itself into the act, it is ever free of the result. Yoga Vasishta. Where could that be invoked which fills all space? Where is the seat of that which is the seat of all? Of the pure, what can be the wash or the offering of honor? What the drink that purifies within? A Sankarakriya. I have no distraction, and therefore no attraction. Distraction or attraction are all incidents of the mind under power of attraction. Upadasahasri. The idea which consciousness, at first, imagines, of itself, as its own form, that it continues to be even to the present day. The same consciousness may, by yet another effort of greater strength, take the opposite form, and so on, in proportion to the effort it should put forth. Yoga Vasishta. Neither teacher nor book, neither pupil nor teaching, neither you nor I, neither this nor that. The light of self, intolerant of all doubt whatever, I am all pure bliss, the one residuum of the many thus denied. A Sankarakriya. The patient Brahman, having known it, should harmonize himself in the self, he should not be deluded away by words. It is mere waste of breath. Upanishad. The wise, having found the path of wisdom indirect and direct, from the study of books, should then cast them away even like straw after threshing the rice out of it. Panchadasi. This is the truth, I know no change, for, there can be no cause to change, there being all oneness out and out. No spiritual merit or demerit, no liberation or bondage, nor have I any caste or locality, for, I have not the body of which these are accidents. Upadasahasri. None of the philosophies do I profess. I am that pure consciousness, the subject of distinct self-experience, all pure bliss, the one residuum of the many thus denied. A Sankarakriya. In the duties of caste and neighborhood, some take delight in childlike innocence, some in stupid indifference, others find their mean lover, reveler, ascetic. To no one grade of life the knower confines his choice. Svarajiasati. A perfect fool in one place, all royal splendor in another, at times in fond delusion, at times entire peace and quiet, often in the slothful indifference of the boa, the subject of the highest encomiums in one place, in another all contempt, in a third entirely unnoticed. Thus goes about the wise knower, ever happy in the highest bliss. Vivekaknidamani. The ascetic, not straying away from the path of wisdom, should so conduct himself that foolish men, feeling ill at ease, should seek not his company. Smriti, the ignorant set up this panorama of objects. I wipe it out as often I have faith in none. I am not afraid of the last penalty. I hate so-called virtue. Self-satisfaction is all I seek. The whole of my wonderful life spent in escaping the world, none can understand. Svarajiasati. What means self-realization to me? All eternal realization. From end to end all duties have been done, all wishes have been fulfilled. This is the most sure conviction of my heart. Banchadasi. I neither do nor make do, I neither enjoy nor make enjoy, I neither see nor make see. I am the self-effulgent self, unlike every possible name or form. Vivekaknidamani. The knower and the ignorant are both equally subject, each to his own previous karma. The knower, all patience, knows no sorrow. The ignorant, ever unsteady, continues to grieve. Of two men passing on the road, both being equally fatigued and the road before them being equal, he that knows treads on patiently to the end. The poor ignorant fool lingers behind, bemoaning his lot. Banchadasi. Bliss here attends the extremes of intellect, the highest which transcends intellect, and the lowest which is far below intellect. The way between these extremes is the way of worry and evil. A very thin partition divides ecstasy from madness, for, in the former, the mind having lost all faith is quite clear of every tinge of attachment. Yoga Vasishta. In all acts whatever, whether of commission or omission, there is nothing, save absence of attachment, to distinguish the fool from the man of wisdom. Yoga Vasishta. I look with equal eye upon a poisonous snake, or a garland of flowers upon a strong enemy, or a kind friend upon a costly jewel, or a lump of earth, a bed of flowers, or a slab of stone, a group of beautiful women, or a collection of useless straw. Thus do I spend all my days in some holy solitude, all intent on the blissful syllable. Bhartrhari. Neither action nor inaction are in me, ever one and without parts. How can he act who is all oneself, a compact mass, all full and all filling like the ether? Vivekaknidamani. He is never overjoyed, though often coming to good things. He stands firm as Maru under the direst calamity. He walks the world like a god, finding self in the bliss of self in everything whatever. Vasajasati. A Chandala, twice born, a Sudra, an ascetic, a man of intellect refined by application. The lord of yogis thus described at the top of thoughtless prattle by men conceiving each his own fancy. Sages harmonized in the self when their way, neither angry nor proud of the compliments thus bestowed. Bhartrhari. The knower catches in the ecstasy of his heart the full light of that Brahman which is indescribable, all thought, all pure bliss, incomparable, transcending time, ever free, beyond desire, resembling limitless ether, having no parts and admitting of no idea beside itself. Vivekaknidamani. Does it make any difference in this gem of heaven, the sun, if he is reflected in the waters of the Ganges or in the stream flowing through the scavenger's street? Does it make any difference in the ether enclosed in an earthenware or in a jar of gold? In that, the inner being of all, the billow-less ocean of native bliss and light, what means this great delusion, this nightmare of separateness, creating distinctions? The self-same self shines plainly in all the three conditions of waking, dream and sleep. It is, moreover, the inner witness of all, pervading even like a thread, all forms whatever from Brahma to the tiniest ant. He who has the firm conviction I am the self, not the form it takes, let him be a Brahman or a low caste, my mind points to him as the real master. A Sankarakriya. Has it set? Is it broken? Is it shattered to pieces? Is it dissolved? Is it pounded to dust? Is it swallowed up? Is it suddenly gone to decay? The mind being turned inward, I do not find even a trace of the universe in the free depths of myself, the indescribable ocean of the bliss of self-realization. Svarajiasati. All latent desire having died out, he looks upon the world as all destroyed, as some unreal nightmare, as a castle in the air, or even as a painting which is nearly washed off under a heavy downpour of rain. Yoga Vasishta. Though ever moving about in the world of experience, the whole of it exists not for him. All-pervading ether-like consciousness alone subsists. Such a one is called liberated. The expression of his countenance neither flushes nor fades under pleasure or pain. He stands unmoved whatever may come or go. Though acting after every feeling, such as love, hate, fear and the like, he who stands unaffected within, is said to be the liberated while yet in this life. He whom the world finds no cause to fear, and who is never afraid of the world, ever beyond joy, and jealousy, and fear, is said to be the real liberated one. With the woes of this world laid entirely at rest, he who, though full of all learning and art, is yet without any, who, though with mind is without it, is said to be the real liberated one. Yoga Vasishta. Trembling and other signs of fear subside, only by degrees, even after knowledge of the snake as nothing but a harmless piece of rope. The same rope met within dim light, even after such knowledge, may yet become the same terrible snake it once was. Thus previous karma comes gradually to end by fruition through experience, and not all at once by any obstinate remedy. Nay, it is even possible for the immortal one to temporarily feel his mortality in moments of such fruition. This, however, is no flaw in the condition of spirituality once realized, for liberation is no observance, it is being at harmony with the course of nature. Panchadasi. When all desires infesting the heart are entirely given up, the mortal becomes immortal and lives in spirit even here. The slough cast off by the serpent lies dead and lifeless on the anthill, so even lies this body, and the mortal, who is thus disembodied, while yet here, becomes immortal, all life, all spirit, all light. Upanishad. The highest self, all endless bliss, unconditioned limitless consciousness, being realized, whether through the great texts, or through yoga, in all experience whatever, let one lose himself in the ecstasy of realization, for he has forever lost all touch with bondage of every description. Sverajizati. Clad in rich cloth or in the wide expanse of space, having his skin alone for cover, or buried deep in the ample folds of all-embracing thought, he wanders the world like a madman, like a child, or even like a ghost, when compared with the unfolded of his race. Vivekaknidamani. Without having in one's self the clear light of self-experience, no one can appreciate the phenomenal sublimity of another's experience in the same line. Yoga Vasishta. As timber is carried away by the stream to places high and low, so even is the body led by law to whatever awaits it at its proper time. Vivekaknidamani. The traveler with mind firmly fixed only on the goal he is approaching, never feels the motion of his legs along the road he treads. Act thus in all you do. Yoga Vasishta. The fright caused by the appearance of a thief survives his capture, the cloth yet leaves the impress of its form on the ashes to which it is burnt. The world reduced of itself to naught in the case of the knower, lasts with his body to bear out such fruition as previous karma should bring. Sverajizati. The knower may, O child, let his external senses manifest in acts and all conditions as long as his body lasts, but he should never let his internal sense go with the external. Yoga Vasishta. The ether may appear in any condition whatever, it is never conditioned. The self never takes on the properties of whatever accidents may appear to color his self. Atmabhata. The knowers of the Supreme neither avoid nor court intercourse with the world, they go with whatever should turn up in ordinary course. Being in all, I am ever inactive, he who, with this conviction, acts in accord with what is brought to him in the course of nature is always inactive. He is not motionless though standing, he does not walk though going, he is all peace though deep in intercourse, he is ever inactive though full of activity. Yoga Vasishta. This kind of apparent latent desire in those who have found liberation while living is no desire at all, it is that universal sense of being which is known as pure being. Yoga Vasishta. Having known it thus, fill thyself with the memory of pure unity. Having realized the unit, walk the world like a mass of so much dead matter. No praise, no salute, no offerings even to the dead, no fixed or unfixed abode, the harmonized soul should ever live in faith and trust. Gaudapadakriya. The 15 rays return into their source, the divine forces governing the senses find back the universal fountain of their rise, the reflection in the inner sense, the embodied soul together with every action whatever, all become one in the supreme unchangeable essence. As rivers flowing into the ocean lose their individual name and form, nay thus lose even themselves, so does the knower, freed from all name and all form, find the highest being, all light. He who thus knows the highest self, verily becomes self. None that is born in his family has his eye closed to self. He soars above sin and sorrow, freed from the ties of the heart. He becomes immortal. Upanishad. Giving up the body in some holy place or in the house of the lowly, conscious or unconscious, he finds liberation, all cause of sorrow being entirely destroyed, and liberation being found in the very moment of the rise of spiritual consciousness. Vartika. Water is water, Whether it stands all placid or surges up in high billows, it makes no difference to the ocean. Embodied or disembodied, there is no difference in the liberation of the silent knower. What difference can embodiment or disembodiment make in the liberated? Whether in tempestuous waves or in placid calm, the sameness of ocean undergoes no change. Yoga Vasishta, who has no desire, who is beyond desire, who has all desires fulfilled in the Supreme, who has self as the object of all and every desire, his breath rises not beyond him being self, he becomes self. In truth, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, I have no illusion for my consort, no serpent for my couch, no disgust for my weapon, no round of incarnations to go through, nor have I the anxiety of protecting the world, still I am the Lord, to all intent and purpose, in myself. Svarajyasati, the Absolute neither rises nor sets, nay he is never laid at rest. He is not being nor non-being, neither near nor distant, neither I nor thou. He shines as the sun, he protects the three worlds appearing as Vishnu, as Seer he destroys all. He acts the creator in the form of the lotus-born Brahma. Whatever is, whatever has been, whatever shall be, every object in any one of the three forms of time, he is that, he is everything. O best of knowers! When he takes on the form of the three worlds and all they contain, I believe him to have gone through the act of creation. If verily the three worlds do exist, let him by all means become those words, for in him the three worlds are, in truth, empty of all real content. Whatever mere words are they? Yoga Vasishta. They divert themselves in the native bliss of self-experience, they enjoy themselves in any manner with perfect freedom. The many-sided, wonderful course the liberated pursue, on the inscrutable path, ever free of attachment, knowing no limit, always tending to the good of the universe, is as inscrutable as the course of fishes in water, the passage of birds in the atmosphere, or the course of wind throughout space. Svarajyasati. Doubt, dispute and explanation, all depend on language, which means duality. In the language of unity, there can be no question and no answer. Panchadasi. There is in reality no dissolution, no creation, none in bondage, no pupillage, none desirous of liberation, none liberated. This is the absolute truth. Gaudapadakriya. Woe to him who enunciated this method of harmony in the absolute, conducing to the well-being of all, beneficent, above all dispute, entirely at one. Gaudapadakriya. Wonderful, supremely wonderful this philosophy. More wonderful still the masters who teach the truth. 1,000 wonders surround the depth of spiritual consciousness taught. The bliss of knowledge is the silence of indescribable wonder. Panchadasi.